Welcome back to WWE Supercard. I believe this is going to be episode 73. So far, all the questions on the last episode, those have been great. I think I'm going to put a cutoff, let's say Wednesday night, after Wednesday midnight my time, which is Eastern. That's going to be the cutoff, and then I'll write down questions from there, that kind of stuff. And then I'll work on getting that video up, hopefully by the weekend. Something I got confused by people writing in there. They're writing like yellow fogged batsy or something. Like 2 people wrote that, and I have no clue what that means. Like I even tried looking through my King of the Ring that was in that video, and I didn't get it. I had no clue. But of course, don't bother writing any questions for me on this video. They all need to be on the last video. I'll put a link for that in the description for that. So the King of the Ring I'm in, it's not going too well. Even though we're second place, I just lost my last 2 games. One was against the guy in 3rd place, and the other was against the guy in 1st place. It could go either way, really. I really need to hit my survivor poll soon, because I need to make a pro, essentially. That's what's stopping me from winning those games. I don't have a pro other than Roman Reigns, and I think they've both got one as well. So the games could go either way, is what I'm trying to say. They're all very close, and it's somewhat frustrating because I don't want to lose out on a survivor poll. If I get a board poll and it ends up being a pro, I don't really care what happens in the King of the Ring. I want this one to be over. It's not going to end. Brackets don't start till tomorrow morning, so it's going to be tough. Either way, I'm going to be going against the guy I think we're tied for 2nd right now. That's going to be the guy I'm against, because I'm telling you, this has been a tough King of the Ring. I think there were 10 humans, including me, so 9 other people in this one. And I think some of them they've given up because it's almost like they're not ready for a Survivor King of the Ring, or they just got unlucky with the time that they started. It's just brutal for them. A lot of people who ended up getting Sheamus as a freebie or other rewards or board polls, of course they got to make a pro out of that, even though I think statistically Sheamus is the 2nd worst survivor card in the game. Any pro at the beginning of a tier is so important. Like, if you're able to get legendary pros very early on, when the game started, there'd be you and another human in King of the Rings, and you could just keep on farming legendary cards that way. With Survivor tier, a lot of people have the same, it's event card central in Survivor King of the Rings, and it's tough to compete in them without an event card. Like, yeah, you may be able to make the quarters and like you'll get out of the brackets, maybe. It can be tough to, but if you don't have event cards, you're not going to be able to get into the finals. You're not going to be able to get survivor cards. So it's very tough that you can't really try Survivor King of the Rings until you have event cards, because yes, they can be beat. My Ryback gets beaten by John Cena quite often because charisma gets called. But it's very specific things. Like, Del Rio will lose a lot of toughness matches or speed matches. So that leaves you like Shawn Michaels, Dolph Ziggler, even Jack Swagger can beat Del Rio, but it all depends. You need to get the match type, you need to get the proc. You can do it, but it's very tough to actually be able to do it, like to get the execution of it. You got to be very lucky. Even with Nikki, a lot of people didn't put any tokens in speed, which I think if you didn't put anything in speed, her base stats with all the play levels is 1639, which I think I have a Brie Bella that's like at 1620 just for speed naturally. So if that gets a proc, you're going to beat a Nikki. There's variables. It's very tough to actually make it without an event card, but I'm hoping to get a pull soon. I'm hoping to make a pro because I need one. I need one so bad. This Roman is great. It's a very good start, but I'm not leveling him up all the way because it completely unbalances my deck, especially for Road to Glory, which relies on having a balanced deck. So I don't want to level him up too much, but then, I'm going to end up getting beaten by other Survivor pros, that kind of stuff. So the plan really is to try and get 1 or 2 more pros, then I can get that Roman Reigns all the way up, and hopefully just kind of bank on that people haven't got many Survivor pros, and keep them up just enough to beat the event cards, and then keep farming Survivors until everyone's kind of around the same level. So that's what it's going to be. So of course, with the questions that are being asked, there are a lot of very good questions in there, and of course, if you haven't realized by now or hasn't clicked, just even submitting a question, because I'm going to read it out, your name's going to be on there as well, so it's almost like a question / shout out kind of thing. Like, there'll be Sonny in Dallas. Morel writes on a lot of these things. He's a very supportive guy. He's a very awesome guy. I really liked the question he asked about, he did like a 2-part thing, like who's your favorite superstar, and it was something like along the lines of, should they have kept WCW around? Now that's gonna be a cool one to answer. So, I do feel strongly about my choice for that. If anything, it's just going to end up being more of a fantasy booking situation. But like questions like that, it's very interesting. You can ask me anything like that. It doesn't even have to be about wrestling. It could be, what do you think of Trump or whatever? Which he's not going to win, but man, he is a human highlight reel with everything he says. It's fantastic. I hope he just keeps saying everything that he's saying, because it makes, I have no interest in US politics really, but he makes it interesting. So yeah, like any question like that, so I'll put the link in this description, because I'm not even, I'll read your comment for this video, but it won't count. I'm not going to add that in. So the reason I'm giving the cutoff for Wednesday midnight my time, so I can start writing them down and kind of playing around with the recording software and the editing that comes with it, and just trying to find a nice way to display questions. And then of course you got to record every single answer, that kind of stuff. So there are a lot of comments on there, so I will be doing it. I was originally fearing, I'd get, maybe one person would write on it, and then I'd be like, well, screw it, I'm not going to do a video just for one thing. But, some of the answers, a lot of people, some questions are the same. So if they are, the same or similar, I'll just lump everyone together into one thing that they all asked, and we'll just take it from there, because I don't want to keep on, saying the exact same, reading the same question, giving the same answer right away, because, it'll be boring like that. But the amount of questions that I've gotten so far, and for some of them I do need to go into detail on them, it does seem like it's going to be a decently long video, because of course I like to do all my recording at night when it comes to any of this stuff, so I can just do whatever the hell I feel like in the day. Like even now, it's coming up to 9 o'clock at night. That's early for me for doing a video, for making anything like that, because even like I'm going out tonight, like 1 in the morning. I'm heading out to go see a friend, and typically I would either record about around 11:30 at night is when I usually will end up recording, but you know, if I hadn't gotten to it yet, I would have done it at 3 in the morning when I got back from seeing my friend, as we do our Sunday night ritual of going out to eat at this 24-hour food place. So we go every Sunday, and yeah, that's typically, like, this is really early for me for doing this. I almost feel wrong for doing it, but this is gonna be our last game because we're up over 10 minutes now. Because this takes a while to render. If I do something that's like 8 minutes, it renders fully in no time. It takes me about, I think it's rendering for, say, maybe 5-10 minutes, something like that. As soon as it crosses that 10-minute mark, I don't know what the hell it is, but it takes a hell of a lot longer to render anything. So we are going to win this one. I don't believe we lost any of these matches, which I don't think I've done a video like this where I actually have gone all the way through, especially since Survivor Tier, where I've actually ended up winning all of them, because I always have a hard time when I need, like, I'll have 25 out of 25 energies and I'll win 200 matches in a row. As soon as I've spent an energy and I need to get some back, I think the game knows that I need the energy, and it's just not going to give it to me. So no polls of note once again, but that's no surprise for us. So that's going to be it for today. Please leave any question you have for me on the previous video, which is episode number 72. Thank you all for watching. Please take care.